Do you know which things will increase exponentially the chances that you land a new remote job? Stay with me in this video to see several of them and help you to prepare for your next career move, especially if it is in the remote area. My name is Juliana Rabbi and I help professionals to land remote jobs in 90 days. This is my YouTube channel and every week I share a new video related to career, LinkedIn, job interview, remote jobs, and all things career related. So please go ahead and click on the follow button so every week you're going to be informed about new videos. A lot of people come talking to me via LinkedIn, in person, or they send me emails asking, Juliana, how can I land my first remote job? Especially after COVID, that more and more people start considering this option as something that, I can actually do that. Maybe it was a distant reality before, but now it is closer. Now it's part of our day because most of us, at least during some period of last year, were working remotely. So more and more people are considering this option, but still a lot of people don't know how to get there. Which are the initial steps to land a remote job and how to actually increase the chances of landing the first fully remote job. That's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. A big mistake that job seekers do is to say upfront when they are connecting with a recruiter, when they are doing a job interview, is saying, I want a remote job. I don't care which kind of job, I'm flexible about the position, I just want to land a remote job. Please don't do this big mistake. Let's be clear here. The fact that you want a remote job is a great thing. There is nothing wrong with that. But companies won't hire you just because you want a remote job. You see the difference? The fact that the job is remote is a detail in the context. I mean, you still need to meet the requirements. You still need to deliver results. You still need to pass the recruitment process. So don't go up front and say, I want to work remotely. That's why I'm doing this interview. That's why I'm here, because these won't help you to land the job. Actually, probably the opposite is going to happen. If the recruiter realizes that your main interest, or maybe even the only one, is the fact that the job is remotely, they won't be happy with that. So forget saying upfront, I'm just applying for this job because it is remotely, or in a more subtle way, right? My main motivation for this job is the fact that it is remotely. Don't go this way and focus on the requirements of the job, your skills, how are you a good match to the company, and mainly how can you solve the problems company if you are hired for this job. So please don't go ahead saying I'm applying for this job because it is remotely and my dream is to work remotely. No, this should be treated as a secondary thing in the process because you are the perfect candidate, because you meet the requirements, and because the company at the end of the process is like dying to hire you because there is a real match. And on the top of that, the job is remotely. Another mistake is apply to any kind of job just because they are remotely. This is very connected to what I just said in the previous topic. If you don't meet the requirements, I'm sorry, but you won't be approved for the position. The fact that the job is remote doesn't mean that the company will be more flexible with you just because you are interested in a remote position. No. The criteria will be there. You still need to prove that you meet the requirements for the company. So don't waste your time and don't waste the recruiter's time applying for all remote jobs that you can find in all websites. No, this is not the way to go. You still need to filter according to your previous experience or according to something similar that you have done, that you consider that you have the skills to do the job. So don't just apply to all the remote jobs that you see just because they are remotely, because it doesn't guarantee that you are gonna land the job just because you applied if you don't meet the requirements. It's as important as always that you as a candidate meet the requirements when you apply for a job, being a remote job or being an office job. If you have been working remotely during the pandemic, or if you worked remotely previously in any moment of your life, please make sure you mention that in your resume, in your LinkedIn profile, and make sure you bring this topic to the interview. Why is that? Because companies are definitely more likely to hire someone who already worked remotely, who knows what it takes, who learn how to organize their schedule, who learn how to get rid of the distractions, who learn how to use some of the tools, communication tools that you use working remotely. So it's extremely important that if you had a remote work experience, even if it was temporary, even if your job was not properly remotely, even if it was only for a project, it doesn't matter. Make sure you highlight that in your resume, in your LinkedIn profile, and make sure you talk about it properly during the job interview. Another very important aspect, differentiating yourself as a candidate from other candidates. Let's be frank here. You probably realize that a remote job has hundreds, sometimes even thousands of applicants, because more and more people are thinking about remote jobs at the moment. So people just apply for the jobs. You don't want to be doing what everybody else do. So if you just apply for jobs, the chance that you land the job exists. Yeah, okay, but they're not very high. So let's try to increase the chance that you land this job by differentiating yourself. And what I mean by that is having an excellent curriculum LinkedIn profile, but also going some steps further. So for example, you can send a video curriculum to the company. Oh, wait, they didn't ask for that. But that's exactly why you're going to differentiate yourself, because you're not just replying to a mandatory requirement in the position. You're going some steps ahead, being proactive and showing yourself, like the way you speak, the way you communicate, your body language. So that's steps ahead of what most of the candidates do. Also, the way you write your cover letter can make a big difference. There are ways and ways of writing a cover letter, but if you write a good one, a powerful one that really shows that you are a good match to the position, this can make a big difference. I have examples of clients who said that the cover letter that they sent made a big difference because the hiring manager gave them this feedback. So cover letter, a well-written one, can make a lot of difference in the process. Also, the follow-up between interviews, between interaction with the recruiter or the hiring manager, whoever interviewed you. Don't just disappear between one stage and the other in the process. Make sure you keep in contact with the company and you remind them about you, about your interest, and about how you are a good match to the position. Understand the company's need before you go for the job interview. And what I mean by that is when there is an open position, when there is a vacancy, at the end of the day, what the company is looking for is, I need someone to fix a problem. I need someone to make my life easier. I need someone to generate more benefits to the department. I need someone to make the clients happy. So there is always a problem behind the position. Try to read between the lines of the job description and understand which is the main problem that the company is expecting you to solve, and be clear about it in the interview. Make explicit why you can solve that problem. Look back in the past and bring real examples, powerful ones of similar problems that you solved to your previous companies, the things you learned in the process, and how can you apply that to solve the problem of your future company. So the more specific you are about that, understanding the reality of the company, what they need, and how can you solve that problem, the better. Avoid being superficial. Be specific and make very clear during the job interview and pretty much during every interaction you have with the company why you can solve the problem and how can you do that. There are way more remote jobs right now in the market than in any other time before. This is a great opportunity to land your first remote job or even to improve the one you have now. Don't be afraid, don't be scared about big numbers, about the number of applicants for each position, about the complexity of the job, or about the fact that you never worked before. This is a great moment to make this step. Believe in yourself, prepare yourself for the process, and hey, ask for help if you need. You don't need to do this thing alone. Which is your main struggle to land a remote job? I would love to hear that and help you more. So please let me know in the comments below and go ahead and follow my channel for new videos like that.